Super Royal Express.
It was a present from Meghan Markle. Let's go.
Have a great day.
Prince Harry has once again shown the world why he remains one of the most relevant, compassionate and impactful figures of our time. Despite the relentless attacks from the British tabloid press, despite constant criticism from royal commentators who seem more interested in tearing him down than acknowledging his contributions, Harry continues to prove, through action, not words, that he is a man committed to service, to humanity, and to making a difference in the lives of those who need it most. And this week, Harry's actions spoke louder than ever. The Duke of Sussex made a surprise visit to Kyiv, Ukraine, as part of his ongoing humanitarian work through his Invictus Games Foundation. His mission? To stand with the brave men and women of Ukraine, soldiers and civilians alike, who have been left injured, traumatized, and permanently scarred by Russia's 3-year-long war against their homeland. But let's pause here for a moment, because Harry's visit was not some carefully staged photo opportunity, nor was it orchestrated as a PR stunt. This was a deeply personal, courageous and purposeful journey, one that Harry himself admitted carried risks, but risks he was willing to take because of what is at stake. Harry flew into Poland before boarding a train into Kyiv. And yes, it wasn't just any train ride. In a video shared by Ukrainian Railways, Harry could be seen stepping off the train dubbed the Super Royal Express, warmly greeting those who waited for him upon arrival. This wasn't his first time in Ukraine. Earlier in April, Harry had visited Lviv, where he toured the Superhuman Centre, a remarkable facility providing free prosthetics, reconstructive surgery, and psychological support for those wounded in the war. It was here that Harry formed a meaningful connection with Olga Rudneva, the centre's founder and CEO. Fate played its role when Harry ran into Olga again in New York a few months later, and as Harry himself told The Guardian, it was this chance encounter that sparked the journey to Kyiv. Harry recalled, "I bumped into Olga in New York. It was a chance meeting, and I asked her what I could do to help. She said, 'The biggest impact you have is coming to Kyiv.' I had to check with my wife and the British government to make sure it was okay. Then the official invitation came, and that's exactly what Harry did. In a war that has already left over 300,000 people disabled, according to the European Disability Forum, Harry emphasised a critical message. While he cannot stop the war, he can and will help with recovery. Speaking to The Guardian on his overnight train to Kyiv, Harry said, "We cannot stop the war, but what we can do is do everything we can to help the recovery process. We can continue to humanise the people involved in this war and what they are going through. We have to keep it in the forefront of people's minds. I hope this trip will help to bring it home to people, because it's easy to become desensitized to what has been going on." Powerful words, words that go beyond politics, beyond titles, beyond family feuds. These are the words of a man who understands what it means to serve. Let's not forget, Harry isn't just a royal by birth. He is a military veteran himself, having served in the British Army for a decade, even deploying twice to Afghanistan. He knows firsthand the cost of war. He has seen the toll it takes on soldiers, the physical wounds, the psychological scars, the families left behind. This is why Harry created the Invictus Games back in 2014, to give wounded veterans and service personnel an international platform where they could find healing, camaraderie and purpose through sport. And it's why he has remained so committed to the Invictus community for over a decade. Ukraine has been a part of the Invictus Games since 2017. But as Harry himself pointed out, the war has magnified the importance of this event like never before. Recalling Ukraine's participation in The Hague in 2022, Harry said, "It was remarkable. Every one of the participants had a journey to get to those games, but nobody from any of the other competing nations was going back to war. That is why the Ukrainians stood out. Everyone felt an immense connection to them. Some of the competitors were being pulled off the battlefield and were going back to the battlefield. It means so much to us because it means so much to them." Harry's visit to Ukraine is far more than symbolic. Alongside his team from the Invictus Games Foundation, he is expected to unveil new rehabilitation projects in Kyiv to support wounded veterans, projects that will later expand across the country. During his stay, Harry is also set to visit the National Museum of the History of Ukraine in the Second World War, meet with 200 veterans and hold talks with Ukrainian Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko. And all this comes at a particularly tense moment as Ukraine continues to face its largest aerial assault since the war began, with even Russian drones violating Polish airspace, drawing responses from NATO. Harry's presence in Kiev sends a powerful message. He is standing with Ukraine when it matters most. Let's also not forget that Harry and Meghan's charitable organization Archwell continues to put money where their mouths are. Just as Harry arrived in Kiev, Archwell announced a $500,000 donation, that's around £369,000, to projects supporting injured children in both Gaza and Ukraine. The grants will help the World Health Organization fund medical evacuations and support programs developing prosthetics for children seriously wounded in these conflicts. This is real impact, real change, real compassion, and yet, where are the headlines celebrating this? Instead, much of the press continues to nitpick Harry and Meghan's every move while ignoring the fact that their actions are saving lives and offering hope. Of course, Harry's visit to Ukraine came directly after his 4-day stay in the UK, and during that time, Harry had his first face-to-face meeting with his father, King Charles III, in nearly 2 years. The two shared a private tea at Clarence House lasting 54 minutes. Now, many royal commentators rush to spin this as insignificant, but let's be clear. After 19 months of estrangement, this was a huge first step toward reconciliation. Even insiders told People magazine that it is always better to be talking. Harry himself seemed optimistic. His spokesperson said he had loved being back in the UK and enjoyed catching up with old friends and colleagues. But while progress with his father seems possible, the relationship with his brother, Prince William, remains icy. The two did not meet during Harry's stay. The rift between them appears far from healing. Still, Harry has repeatedly expressed hope for reconciliation, even as he acknowledges that forgiveness may not come easily. When we step back and look at the big picture, it becomes clear. Harry is not defined by his royal title, his family drama, or the media's obsession with tearing him down. He is defined by his service. From Afghanistan to the Invictus Games, from Archewell's global impact to his unannounced visit to Kiev, Harry has consistently demonstrated that he is a man who walks the walk. He doesn't just speak of compassion, he acts on it. And let's not forget, every step of the way he has had the support of his wife, Meghan Sussex, who herself has been a tireless advocate for mental health, equality and humanitarian causes. When Harry mentioned needing to check with Meghan before travelling to Kiev, it wasn't about seeking permission, it was about the deep respect and partnership that defines their marriage. Together, Harry and Meghan embody what modern leadership looks like: empathy, courage, and commitment to making the world better, even in the face of relentless negativity. So let's leave it at this. While some royals are busy with PR stunts and staged photo ops, Prince Harry is walking through war zones, standing shoulder to shoulder with veterans, donating his own money and making real impact where it matters most. That is leadership, that is service. That is what it means to be truly royal. And here on this channel, we will always give Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex the credit they deserve. If you enjoyed this video and believe in supporting voices that stand for Harry and Meghan, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and most importantly, if you'd like to support our work, consider sending a super thanks. Every single contribution helps us keep spreading the truth, cutting through the noise, and celebrating the good they are doing. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting, and remember, compassion always wins.